Hello and welcome back to another one of our video clips about Marcellus shale and natural gas exploration and leasing in Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Dave Messersmith. I'm an educator with Penn State Extension based in Wayne County, Pennsylvania. And today I'm pleased to have with me Ken Balliet. Ken's a multi-county CED in central Pennsylvania, based out of the Snyder County office, but covers a number of counties. And Ken has done a lot of natural gas programming and been a part of a number of programs in Pennsylvania.
Probably about two years now we've been working on this program.
Anyway, great to have you with us today, Ken.
Nice to be here.
And I'm going to interview Ken. Part of it, really the basis of our interview is Ken has developed a presentation for landowners called Dollars and Cents, and it tries to help landowners understand some of the decision-making process and some of the tools available to help them decide whether or not they should sign a natural gas lease. So we're glad to have you here with us today. First question, we have lots of landowners across Pennsylvania who have been approached or are still being approached about signing a gas lease. What are some of the factors that they need to consider during that decision-making process?
That's an interesting question, Dave. We get a lot of calls in the extension office, and everyone says, well, I have a lease that has X amount of dollars, I have X amount of acres, the royalty rate is such and such, and their bottom line question is, should they sign that lease? And most of the time, the answer has to be, it depends. Everybody's different in terms of their lifestyle and the importance of their land in terms of whether they should sign or not. And those factors, I think, are really important because you have to come up with some kind of methodology to make a decision whether to sign the lease. And you can't strictly go on dollars because you have to understand that the dollars that are paid for rental rates right now in acres are going to continue to rise for most places. So it's a certainty that as soon as you sign a lease that the price is going to go up. Yeah, so if you can't sign based on the price per acre or the rental rate, then how do you decide? And I try to tell landowners it's a personal decision. It depends a lot on your financial stability. For example, someone who might be 75, 77 years old, retired, ill health, may think a lot harder about signing a lower rate than someone maybe who's has double income and their house is paid off and they're in good health and have good financial wherewithal. So those two people are going to make decisions at different points, and that's okay. Your goal shouldn't be, I mean, all of us want to maximize their dollars, but you have to look at your personal finances as well. Another factor to consider is what you're going to use the land for. We have a lot of folks in this area who are absentee landowners. They live in the city, maybe in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and they have land here. Maybe they come to visit it once a year, maybe they don't. Obviously, they're concerned about the impact of drilling on that property. It's a whole lot different than someone who lives, maybe it's a family farm, it's going to be passed down for generations, or has been in the family for generations. And so, the value of the property and their involvement in the property has a lot to do with it. And that person that's heavily involved with their woodlot or the trees or the farm may want certain provisions in the contract to protect those. The absentee landowner may not be so concerned about what happens to the land, but the person that is may give up some dollars on the rental per acre basis in order to get the guarantees that they need in order to protect the property. And of course, estate planning is another one. Where is the farm going to be passed on down the generations, or is we have a lot of farms who the kids have moved away and there's no one to take it over, so it's going to be sold. So those differences should have a lot of impact on the decision of when you should sign a lease, at what point you're going to sign a lease. Okay.
Can you real quickly give some reasons why? You shouldn't sign a lease, right? Some things.
Well, yeah, the biggest one we always hear is, well, I signed a lease because John Smith down the road signed it, and I respect him, and he knows what he's doing, so I signed because he signed. Or the landman says to, do you know so-and-so? Maybe he's been in the paper, maybe he's a community leader. Well, he signed the lease, so therefore by association, if you were smart like him, you would sign the lease. Well, that's not a reason to sign a lease. As we just went over the different considerations in terms of your financial stability and all those things should be factored into it, but not whether your friends sign a lease. The other one we get a lot is, well, if you don't sign the lease, we're going to drill down on your neighbor's property and remove the gas from under your property, and you won't know about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, that's just certainly not true. We have what they call a rule of capture in the state of Pennsylvania. If someone drills down, let's say for water, whatever water you bring out of your property is yours. However, the nature of this gas and how it's located in the Marcellus Shale pretty much makes that concept of drawing gas out from somebody else's property without their knowledge a moot point. That isn't going to happen. So don't be afraid about that. They're not going to take your gas out from under your property without you knowing about it or reimbursing you for it.
One of the keys that you mentioned in your presentation is about people doing their homework and learning all about the process of leasing and exploration before signing a lease. Yeah,
that's a good point. Unless you know all about the exploration process and leasing process, the more you know, the better able you are to make a good informed decision, and that's what this is all about. It's if you go to Texas, generation after generation have dealt with drilling and all the terminology and how leases are handled and with the deeds, etc. But up here we don't have experience there, so it's a totally new process for us. So seek out good help and good information.
What are some good resources available to a landowner to help them do their homework? Are there things in print, online?
Yeah, we actually have an excellent website that puts together a lot of that information, a lot of information from extensions, not only in Pennsylvania but in Ohio and Oklahoma, etc., on the leasing process, on the exploration process.
Yes.
And you can go there and get that, and that's at if you just type in your browser, Pennsylvania or naturalgas.psu.edu, you can get that information.
Great. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up part one of this session. So join us, come back again, click on the clip for part two, and we'll be back in just a moment.